Today I'm going to show you the basic components of the Easy Clone 128. I'll show you the setup and how it works. I did not know what an Easy Clone was until just recently. I went to a nursery that was going out of business and I found this bag. And on the bag I had a picture of a little plant that looks kind of like this. A couple of little leaves, had a little stem sticking out and lots of roots. And so I didn't know what it was and it was on sale, so I had to buy it. And so then I came home and decided I needed to learn everything there was to know about it. And I honestly thought that it was just going to be something so you didn't have to worry about the water levels of your plants that you were propagating, in a glass of water. However, it was much cooler than that. The Easy Clone is an aeroponic system. And I don't know if you're like me, but I was not familiar with the word aeroponic, or not nearly as familiar with it as I was the word hydroponic. The aeroponic and hydroponic both are means of propagation with water. The aeroponic uses mist to propagate. The cuttings are suspended above the water in a little insert, and the water is misting up on them constantly. So it also provides oxygen. So you have oxygen and water, and they're hitting the bottom of your cutting consistently all the time. And so what this does is it provides like the perfect setting for your cuttings to grow roots. It also makes it where you don't need a humidity dome over your cuttings because they have constant moisture. This is a good thing. Without the humidity dome, you're not as susceptible to funguses like powdery mildew and the like. And so your plants are getting oxygen. They can have a fan on them if you want them to. But hopefully with this system, the roots will come out much faster. It doesn't take as long. The water is moving constantly. It's not going to get stagnant. It's just going to be a good setup. Okay, and so now let's start looking at some of the components. As you might can see, there are 8 rows labeled A through H. And then the columns again are the rows. You have 1 through 16. Whenever I bought the first inserts I bought, they only had yellow and black there. But whenever I went to go order them online, you can order all different colors. So you can color code your planting or rooting. That's a wonderful thing, so you can keep track of it, especially if you're doing some sort of a hardwood cutting, which I hope to start pretty soon, and there's not any leaves on it. Where most of the time you're cutting something, you're like, oh yeah, well that's a basil, that's a butterfly bush, that's whatever it is I'm propagating, and I can tell exactly what it is because I know what the plant looks like. If you have no leaves, or you have two plants in the same family, 2 crepe myrtles, 1 white, 1 pink, you'll know what you're propagating. So let's look inside this and I'll show you all the parts that there is. Okay, so there really isn't a huge amount to the inside of the Easy Clone. You have the water pump. The water is pumped through the manifold and it comes out of these spray nozzles. The spray nozzles do rotate in case that you're not getting the coverage that you want. You can move those around. I added a couple of air stones. I had these already from an aquarium that was no longer set up. Those did not come with the Easy Clone, but since I had them, I decided to use them. When looking for information on the Easy Clone, I found several videos of people making their own knockoff versions of it. And so a couple of them anyway, had added those air stones, and I figured if I had them, why not try to use it? I did also want to point out the drain on this model. This model weighs about 35 pounds by itself. Then it holds 12 to 13 gallons of water. And a gallon of water weighs roughly about 8 pounds. So it will be quite heavy whenever it's in use. And if you need to drain it, at least you have a little bit of a aid there. I also wanted to show you that there is a cutout in here for the cords. That way the water doesn't drip off of your cords. It stays down there, and you have this flange so that no water is coming out. And here you can see your letters, A through H, as well as at the top you have your 1 through 16. so as you saw, these inserts fit in here very snugly, but if any water did escape, there is channels along here that it will allow it to, the water to flow back into the basin. So that's super helpful. But anyway, I hope that you learned something from that video, and if you did, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.